The child started working to earn money at just 10 years old. He was also the only one in the family who could earn a living. His father was mentally disabled and unable to work. His younger sister was weak and often sick, and he took care of her. Although the family was poor and life was hard, their days together were still peaceful and warm. But that peaceful life started to fall apart with the arrival of two Americans. That day, his uncle brought two American women. As soon as they entered, he told Sun-young to call one of them Dad. Steve, the American, planned to adopt a Korean girl. His uncle, acting as an intermediary, arranged everything. Seeing that Sun-young was polite, sensible, and healthy, Steve immediately agreed to the adoption. Once everything was settled, the uncle took the Americans to their hotel. But not long after they left, the car broke down. While waiting for the car to be fixed, Steve's daughter Barbie wandered around a nearby beach. The local boys had never seen a Westerner before. A group of boys surrounded Barbie, touching and harassing her. Sun-young, who was cleaning at a nearby beach hotel, saw this scene. She picked up a slingshot and drove the boys away. After that, Sun-young quickly took Barbie away. The two girls became friends because of the incident. Barbie was curious about Sun-young's slingshot, so Sun-young gave it to her as a welcome gift. Although they couldn't speak the same language, they could still feel warmth and kindness from each other. After dropping the American women at the hotel, the uncle went back to find Sun-young's mentally disabled father. He pulled out a pack of cheap sausages and tricked his older brother into signing the adoption papers. The entire adoption process was orchestrated by the uncle. He would also earn a considerable commission from it. Every night, Sun-young worked at her uncle's motel. She also received some living expenses from him regularly, but the uncle thought he had already done enough. Now it was time for the family to repay him. The next afternoon, her younger sister Sunja came home from school. Sun-young told her that she was about to be adopted. After hearing this, Sunja asked her, "If you leave, who will take care of Dad and me?" Sun-young replied that she didn't want to go to America at all. But what Sunja said next completely caught her off guard.
그럼 내가 갈게. 미국 가고 싶어? 그걸 말이라고 해? 미국 안 가고 싶은 사람이 세상에 어딨어? 작은 아빠한테 말해야 돼. 작은 아빠한테 가서 말해. 어서 말하라고. 나 미국 가서 살고 싶다고.
Unlike her sister who wanted to stay in Korea, little sister Sunja was full of longing for prosperous America. She often dreamed of becoming a Barbie doll herself and believed that going to America would give her a better life. That night, Sun-young went to see her uncle and told him that Sunja wanted to go to America in her place. But the uncle rejected the suggestion, saying that Sunja was often sick and not in good health. To get the chance to go to America, Sunja walked into her uncle's room the next morning carrying a tray of breakfast. Her intentions were written all over her face, but in the end, the uncle still said it was impossible for her to go to America. That morning, Sun-young was selling bracelets on the beach. By chance, she ran into Barbie again, who was out relaxing. Because she didn't understand the exchange rate, Sun-young sold Barbie a bracelet for $100. Later, Steve arrived, but Steve didn't greet Sun-young, nor did he show any warmth toward his future adoptive daughter. When Sunja found out about the bracelet, she told her sister it was a scam and warned her she could go to jail for it. Then Sunja took the $100, saying she would return it on her sister's behalf. But after she left the house, she didn't return the money. Instead, she exchanged it into Korean won and bought herself new clothes and makeup. That evening, Sunja joyfully twirled around in her new outfit. While mending clothes, Sun-young saw her and complimented how beautiful she looked, unaware that the $100 had been completely spent. The next day, Sun-young went to a restaurant to sell bracelets. There, she once again ran into Barbie and Steve having a meal. Sun-young tried to explain that she had overcharged for the bracelet and asked if her sister had returned the money. But Barbie didn't understand what Sun-young was saying. Instead, she warmly invited her to join for lunch. Then Barbie turned to ask her father for permission, but Steve flatly refused without hesitation. Back at the hotel, Barbie questioned her father why he was always cold and dismissive towards Sun-young. Since he already decided to adopt her, why not treat her like family and get to know her? Faced with his daughter's doubts, Steve gave no answer but sternly ordered Barbie not to go near Sun-young again. That night, while Steve went out drinking, Barbie took the opportunity to sneak out. The small seaside town wasn't very big. Barbie ran into Soon-young on the street once again. Upon learning that Soon-young hadn't had dinner, Barbie treated her to a barbecue meal. She even brought Soon-young to the hotel where she was staying. After giving her a new dress, the two played and splashed around in the bathtub. But just as they were having fun, Steve returned from drinking and found them. Barbie wanted Soon-young to stay the night at the hotel, but Steve didn't agree. He called a cab and sent Soon-young home. Seeing her sister being dropped off by an American, Soon-ja was filled with jealousy and rage. She thought her sister had lied to her and was convinced that Soon-young had become close with Steve.
순자야, 이거 먹어. 너가 좋아하는 소고기. 내가 그냥 네가 먹자면 찌꺼기 먹게.
To carry out her plan of going to America, Soon-ja went to the hotel where Steve was staying early the next morning. She wore her new dress and makeup, and in broken English, expressed her desire to spend the day with Steve and Barbie. Soon-ja smiled deliberately, which made Barbie visibly uncomfortable. Trying to impress Steve, Soon-ja spent the whole day acting like a servant, pouring him drinks on the beach. Barbie observed all of Soon-ja's actions, and her dislike for her only grew stronger. Compared to the overly ambitious Soon-ja, Barbie preferred the innocent and pure Soon-young. After returning home, Soon-ja fell ill from standing too long. Soon-young stayed by her side, taking care of her. But Soon-ja's hostility toward her sister didn't fade. Instead, she told her to give up on the idea of going to America.
나 오늘 스티브 아저씨 만나 즐겁게 놀았어. 날 너무 좋아하는 것 같더라.
Despite Steve's strict prohibition, Barbie couldn't help but sneak off to play with Soon-young. One day, Barbie visited Soon-young at school. Soon-young brought her to the music room to play piano together. Steve came to the school looking for Barbie, and upon seeing the scene, he realized his daughter had grown close to Soon-young. As a result, Steve changed his mind. He said he no longer wanted to adopt Soon-young and instead decided to adopt Soon-ja. After that, Steve took Soon-ja for a medical checkup, which confirmed that she was only physically weak. She didn't have any congenital disease. Later, the two families met at a restaurant. The two adults informed the three children about the decision to adopt Soon-ja. Barbie was very reluctant, but her opinion ultimately didn't change her father's decision. At home, Soon-young persuaded her sister not to go to America. If she did, it would be hard for the two sisters to meet again. At the hotel, Barbie accidentally overheard a conversation between her father and sister. Only then did Barbie realize her father's real reason for coming to Korea wasn't adoption. Barbie's sister had a congenital heart disease. Her father came here to find a donor heart for her sister. In Steve's eyes, the so-called adopted foreign daughter was just a heart carrier. That's why Steve didn't want Barbie and Soon-young to get close, and why he replaced Soon-young with Soon-ja to spare Barbie's feelings. After learning the truth, Barbie confronted her father. She felt the organ trade was nothing short of murder, but Steve believed that buying a heart was the only way to save his younger daughter. Although Barbie also wanted her sister to live, she still believed taking someone else's heart was wrong, so she stole Soon-ja's passport and went up to the hotel rooftop intending to throw it away. But her kindness didn't prevail. In the end, she returned to the room and gave the passport back to her father. Between her sister and the hated Soon-ja, Barbie chose her sister. She also chose to silently accept the organ deal behind the adoption. 3 days before Soon-ja's departure, Soon-ja went to a mobile phone store with her uncle. Her uncle bought her 2 phones. At home, Soon-ja gave the other one to Soon-young. Soon-ja told her sister, "When I get to America, don't call me first. International calls are expensive, but I promise I'll call you." Then Soon-ja told her, "Take good care of Dad. When I grow up and earn money, I'll bring you to America for a visit." After hearing her sister's words, Soon-young burst into tears. Her tears were filled with emotion and sorrow over the farewell. The next day, Soon-ja used her allowance to take her dad and sister to a photo studio. The 3 of them took a family portrait. It was their first and also their last family photo together. On the night before Soon-ja left the country, Barbie suddenly took a cab alone to visit Soon-young's house. With guilt on her face, Barbie apologized to Soon-young. She told her that her sister had a very serious illness. Soon-young didn't understand the hidden meaning behind Barbie's words. She could only beg Barbie to take good care of Soon-ja in America, even though neither could understand what the other was saying. They both sensed the sadness spreading through each other.
말고 잘 타일러서 보살펴줘. 내가 나중에 널 만나면 그 고마움 몇백 배로 갚아줄게.
The day for Sunja to go abroad finally arrived. Her uncle, who had received the referral fee, went out early in the morning to buy a new car. Meanwhile, Soon-young prepared a table full of dishes for her sister who was about to leave the country. During the meal, Soon-young cried again because she couldn't bear the separation. Unaware of anything, their father kept feeding Soonja more food. After that, Steve and Barbie came to pick up Soonja. At the car window, Soon-young once again pleaded with Barbie to take good care of her sister. By now, Barbie no longer had the courage to face Soon-young. With her eyes downcast, she silently handed a letter to Soon-young. Inside the car, Soonja was full of joy and excitement. As the car drove away, she finally set off for the America she had dreamed of. However, just a short distance after the car left, their father began anxiously pacing in circles. Although he had an intellectual disability, he seemed to sense that his daughter was heading toward danger. Back inside, Soon-young opened Barbie's letter. It was filled with the word sorry. Soon-young understood what the word meant, and she suddenly realized her sister wasn't simply being adopted. But when she ran out to stop them, the car carrying her sister was already far, far away. She ran desperately in the direction it had gone, but all that was left for her was helpless confusion and frustration. The final scene of the movie shows Soonja happily waving the American flag at the airport. To her, the flag symbolized prosperity and hope, but her future would not be sunshine, it would be smog. The happy life she had dreamed of would never come true.